Well, all right. I've seen the first two episodes of Creature Commandos, which is really the first entity of the DCU. Even though, due to the fact that it continues on with plot lines from Peacemaker and James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So I guess those two are part of the DCU first. Yeah. it's just some of the elements of those plots will remain in place, and as Gunn addressed, the Justice League scene no longer happened. So that's about it. Everything else, hey, yeah, you're good to go. Of course, his Suicide Squad did lift elements from the first Suicide Squad, which featured Ben Affleck's Batman and mentioned the death of Superman and so on. Yeah, well, all that didn't happen either. So, whatever. But that's in there. So, the show starts off. I liked James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I liked Peacemaker. This one is very flat and a watered-down version of those two. It's just Suicide Squad again. It's just after the events of Peacemaker, Amanda Waller's Task Force X no longer exists. So she figured out a way to get around that, and so the Creature Commandos are now their agents to do dirty work and have plausible deniability because they're not necessarily human. They're all some sort of monsters. So you have Weasel returns, you have this fish woman, you have a robot, you have Dr. Phosphorus, who was human at one time, and now he's this, irradiated Batman villain. And then you have the Bride of Frankenstein. They just call her the Bride. They probably can't outright call her the Bride of Frankenstein. I guess that's still a universal thing. But anyway, she looks just like her, And mostly you get her story, especially in the second episode, where it's the same story. I mean, she was made to be the bride of Frankenstein's monster, but she preferred Frankenstein. Hence the name Bride of Frankenstein. And, Dr. Frankenstein was perfectly fine with that. In fact, they get it on. But then the monster walks in on them, and so you get a lot of that. They're on this mission. The Wonder Woman villain, Cersei, is the main villain that they're going up against. But no real mention of Wonder Woman. There is the mention of Themyscira. And that's when they decide to do a little anti-right-wing people who are anti-woke and have to make fun of them, I guess they're incels or something. Tee-hee, giggle, giggle. Already old before it got there. Boy, that... what a way to kick you right out of the show. So, but it's all very brief and quick. No, those guys are still around. They're part of Cersei's army. Of all the creatures and, superpowered people she could lure into this, she went after those guys. Yeah, so you see, in your attempt to get your digs at the chuds, you... again, ruin your own thing, but whatever. Anyway, there's a few little giggles here and there. It's R-rated and that sort of thing, but maybe it'll pick up in the third one. I don't know, but not that impressed with it. Now, foreshadowing scenes. Oh, boy, those. Well, you see Superman dead and crucified. Oh, good Lord. So I guess if the Creature Commandos fail, that's the horrible apocalyptic future that could happen. So I guess it's suggesting that. But not theoretically, it is the first appearance of the new Superman, but he's in animated form. It would be interesting if they have Corn Sweat do a few lines and make a cameo or what have you in the series. I suppose that's possible. If it's just this image of a possible future that, if the Creature Commandos are successful, will not happen. And probably they'll be successful and it won't happen. But nevertheless, I don't know if any of this has been written to be a nod to the overall great story that's to unfold through all these connected properties. Because the Creature Commandos was something in the works before all this. Let's revamp everything and create the DCU, and all that. I think that came after the fact. But I suppose, you could tweak this and that, time providing, and maybe they did. I don't know. But other than that, I mean, I'm sure the curiosity factor is enough to get some eyeballs on it, but it's just not that great. I just wasn't all that wowed by it. But, there's a few things here and there. Dr. Phosphorus and Rick Flag Sr. have a fight they have, and kind of goes pretty good. And there's Dr. Phosphorus has potential of being a pretty funny, interesting character, provided the team as it is lasts that long. Weasel's Weasel. The GI Robot, but I don't know what else they're going to do with him. There's multiple versions of the same concept there, and in fact, with Ghost Machine comics that Jeff Johns is doing, it's got the same type of idea. But I guess, hey, look, it's a robot who fought in World War II, so you can just do that. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's the deal. So. And, of course, with all this involved, it will tie in to Peacemaker Season 2 as well. So, I suppose that's something. That's all I got. I was very let down by it. But it's just this thing that was underway, and similar to like saying the Blue Beetle was, hey, that can be considered a part of the DCU, and which Blue Beetle will get his own cartoon series as well, and if that does well, maybe there'll be another movie and all of that. But the thing of it is, it's isolated enough to where you can easily weave that in to this shared universe story, however they wish to see that, because a lot of things are up in the air, even though you have something of an outline, I assume, of where they're going to take it, provided they can. Everything hinges on Superman. If Superman bombs, this is already over. And, here's another little cartoon series that can sit on the shelf and gang dust over at Max or whatever. Just like the Superman movie will, and again, probably Lanterns and Supergirl will get made, and then that'll be the end of it. And then you got to go back to Batman movies. I don't know. Everything hinges on Superman. But as far as Creature Commandos, well, there's more episodes, so we'll see how those play out. But so far, I'm not wowed by it.